next speaker started her journey with software testing in 2006. During her work, she is focused on product, process, and the team, for sure. She had the opportunity to not only build and develop testing teams, but also work with the customers to create, develop, and also design software. The initiator of testing conference TestFest in Wrocław. Moreover, it is one of the best QC of Poland in 2018, and also the best speaker of QMO Conference last year. So please welcome Marta Firlej.
You know, and he told me not to be stressed. So the next thing is that he told me that I should be here just after the lunch, so to make you not to sleep today. So hello. You know, it was really fun because he said, like, he actually said the team and we are working together, so now I'm happy. And I came today to talk about the role of test manager. So can I ask how many of you are test managers or test leaders or project managers or other? Okay, and who'd like to be one? Like test manager, test lead? Some, okay. And so I have the third question. Like, how many of you believe that that role of test manager will disappear? Anyone? 2, okay. So last week I was trying to discuss about it in Kiev, and we had 3 people that did not believe that it will exist. So a little bit about me. So as Andriy said, like, I'm from Wrocław, and like software has the office there. And I'm saying about that because we have like pretty huge IT community there. We have a lot of IT companies. And as Andriy introduced me, yes, I created a conference TestFest that Mateusz is helping me with, and some of our friends, actually a lot of our friends are helping, and we had some speakers here that were speakers there as well. And yes, I'm testing 12 years already. Now I'm feeling old when he said like 2006. It's just I started when I was still studying. And I'm saying that because I want to show you my perspective, that I have a chance to meet people from different companies, with different backgrounds, that are doing different things. And we are discussing about our future, so what we can do. Especially with those that are talking as much as I do, and like working with people as I do. Okay, so let's start. The role of test manager. For this presentation, it will be our hero. So what do you think? What is the role of test manager? What are that person's responsibilities? Test process. All right. Okay, provide summary report and organize testing work. Okay. Assure quality. Okay, yes. Define test strategy. Take responsibility and analyze requirements. Yeah, you were here on Mateusz's speech, I know. Anything else? Yeah. Yes, on the top. Establish quality goals. Good one. What? Forwarding emails. Yes. Anything else? Writing on Skype. Oh, yeah, or any communicator channel. Yeah, I have one still. A lot of them, actually. Anything else? I'm sorry? Control and monitor testing. And Pablo? Resource management. Yes, and we already said with Mateusz, we hate the word resource. But we'll treat resource as a tools, environment, and people, okay? Yeah. And do you think anything else? Still nerves, yeah, sometimes it's stressful. So, what? Inspire juniors, not only juniors, I would say. Inspire everyone. I was asking you about this, and I found actually the description on a Guru 99 page. I don't know if you use it. I use it pretty often. And I found like that it's building and leading teams to the success of the project, that it's defining the scope of testing, that it's deploying and managing resources. I know. It's just the English language is so poor. Applying the appropriate test measurements and metrics. You know what is the goal of software testing? Anyone? Yeah. So this is the sentence. Yeah, so this is the sentence you should have on your monitor, right? We are here to provide the information about the quality. We are not making quality. We are providing information. And then, as Mateusz said before, it's a group that will do it, we hope. The last thing, actually, it's planning, deploying, and managing the testing effort. So we are confirming, as a test manager, so we should confirm that we can make it on time, or if not, like, to prove this information. Okay, so I made a list, a short list. So I played the role of test manager in my previous company. And when I was preparing for this presentation, I thought I will make a short list, like things I was doing. You know, that list excludes things that I was doing for community inside of our company. It just purely tasks connected to test management. This list is very short. So, like, I will not go into details, but, you know, testing strategy, yes, it was there. Yes, I was responsible for having a report, but my teams were doing it. To give you a background, I have up to 5 testing teams in the project. We were working on the same product, a lot of integration, a lot of stuff. Yes, I was responsible for taking care of people, to mentor, inspire. That was a good thing. Inspire them. I hope it worked. Motivate, like, in some of those guys kick their asses sometimes, you know, to make stuff. But also having those things to help and work with other leads, with other managers, to set the goal. I was also working a lot with the client. So that was my perspective. And I think it was something that was missing when you were saying here. We focus so much on the role of test manager that it's managing a team, not co-working with other people. And this is something that we should take care of a little bit more. Okay, so I have 2 off-tops on that presentation. This is the first one. So if you've been on a previous presentation here that Mateusz did, he said about traceability. Okay, so how many of you were here? Okay, half, okay. So I would like to ask you, like, short question. Like, how many of you are using one of those or similar tools for test management? So test case management, like anything. Okay, cool. And you know, we have 21st century, and the most common tool when I'm asking people to how they take care of their testing is this one. So how many of you are still using Excel? You see? And you know, I still, like, I'm living with Mateusz. I know that he loves this tool, right? And I know it's working. The problem is that it's extremely hard to get what we are supposed to do, to provide information about the quality out of that. Because it's not easy to maintain. It's not easy to use. And I would like to give you a little bit homework and take a look on a tool that you're using when it was created, when it was developed. Normally, some of them has 20 years old. There are. The best one I was ever using, it was like Microsoft Test Manager, 2011. So still like 7 years already. Okay, so let's get back. So when do you think, like, when we need test manager? All the time. When you have huge project, yes, this is one of the questions. Okay, so when you have a discussion at the beginning, so we are from the moment that we have a new client, it's like, I have an idea. Yeah, it's a great idea. More than 2 QAs? Yeah, okay. Okay, bigger amount of people, yes, for sure. When there are issues with quality, yes. Yeah. Any like, can you imagine? Thinking about your projects, yeah. When you have people, yeah, when you need someone with big experience. Yeah, that's 1%. Yes, I know. So when we have difficult clients, customers, and it's not only to explain them what does it mean testing, but also like sometimes they require a lot of attention. Yes, to communicate. Yes, with them. Anything else? When? When we have testing, we need test manager. Okay. Okay. When we want to show what is quality. Okay, and how many of you actually in your projects, how many of you have test manager or test lead? Okay, a lot of you. And probably you raise hands, like some of you raise hands when you are playing this role, so it's funny. Okay, so I should ask in a different way. How many of you don't have that position, that lead manager at all? Okay. Do you think you would need it? Okay, one yes. Yes. Yeah. So I will tell you why I'm saying lead and test manager. Every company has their own names. And I was playing the role of test manager and having like completely different names. So for example, in my previous company, I was guild master. Yes, guild master. I was also a project manager, but I was doing the test manager stuff. Like, you know, so the name is, so let's say that we have a common understanding what we are thinking based on the conversation we already have, right? So the person with great experience, communicating between when we have difficult clients, when we need to build the process, and so on. So I made my own list. So I think when we have more than one team, it would be helpful to have someone that will help to align between them. When we are working in distributed teams, so how many of you are working with people that are sitting in different locations? You see? So this is something that is growing. And each year is like more and more and more, and we are talking about communication, that it's easier. When Agile came like 10 years ago, we were saying like, yeah, we'll sit together in one room. And now it's working like that I'm sitting in Krakow, Wrocław, with my team in Lviv. Right? So it's working like that. So I think it would be helpful to have that person on board. I think it would be helpful also to have person like that to take those responsibilities when we have a projects that are regulated by law. Yeah, healthcare. Yes, healthcare, because of all those things that we need to do just because of the law regulations. You know, to sell the stuff we don't want to do, right? We want to just show the quality, not make documents. Like, how many of you likes making documents? 3. Listen, 3. Best candidates if you need to do like a lot of documentation in your projects. 4. Okay, so 4. Yeah, so like you should put it on your CV. Like sometimes we are looking for people like that. So I hate it. I personally hate it. So when Mateusz has his presentation and you ask about tools for traceability to support this, so I love tools for test management that are supporting my laziness in making documentation. Perfect if they can record what I'm doing and making a test case out of that or test scenario. Like perfect. I wish someone would design better tools for that. Okay, so the next moment, I think it will be useful when we are working in waterfall projects or the projects that have, I'm saying here, without methodologies, like so with the total mess. Waterfall? Yes, there are companies that are working in waterfall. Automotive companies, so like in Poland we have a lot of automotive, healthcare, banking, and so on, and they actually working in pure waterfall. Pure waterfall, like with everything. Like 90% of the electronic in your car was like, created in waterfall. Really, I talk with them. I ask them about it. Yes, yes. They make each part of the car, each software, designed for specific car. So when they design a new car, they just reuse the same things. This is something they should prohibit. Okay, when it's what you said, when it's difficult to to have this client, to have this discussion when maybe he's not there or he does not understand our work. Yes. Yes, you told about it. Yeah, I remember. So this is the place that it's great to have, in my opinion, great to have someone like that. And when we, something you already said, like when we need to prove why we need testing. So we just send that person and explain, please. Do you agree with me? Would you add something? No? So let's think about it. Okay, examples. So let's go through 4 examples of different type of companies and think about the role of test manager inside of the company. Let's assume we already have this role there. So what you would expect, what that person should do. I have only 4 examples, we can think of more. So first one, a bank. So Andriy started today this stream with saying like what would be difficult for him. And I worked for a year for one bank. And I'll tell you what was difficult for me. In that bank, I was spending like 6 hours a day on meetings. As a test manager, right? Okay, but you know, this is one of the kinds of the bank. So what do you think? We already have this role. We have test manager in banking, like in bank. What would you expect from that person? So decide about testing goals. Anyone else? Strategy, okay. Have financial background. What? Yeah, low background, yes. Yeah, according to the financial law, okay. Security risks, yes. Anything else you can think of? Like anyone here thinking about anything? Working in a bank? IT department in a bank, let's say. Is better. So I will tell you what are the challenges when I was thinking about it. The challenges are the banks are, you want your money available 24/7, right? Even if you don't, there is no possibility to use them, you would like to see how much money you have. You know, logging there and just smile in the middle of the night, like, I wish you that. So this is one of the things, like we should have this continuity. With Andrew was introducing today, he said that for him it would be hard because you have release every day and it's stressful. So yes, there are teams that are doing the same every day. And yes, it's possible to make automation, but you cannot put some numbers on production just to have for testing purposes. It's not working like that. Yes, it's law regulated. So if you would work for a bank, it's great to have this, ask for at the beginning to have this like trainings about exactly what you will do. I'll tell you what was horrible for me. It was that they were using all those like 3 letters for everything. I had no idea like about most of it. The risk of being a test manager in a banking is that you really need to understand the business goal because you play around numbers, databases. You need to take care of performance, security, and so on. But it's also really, really important to understand as a team why we are doing it. Is it for people to have their money available? If we are doing it to have possibility to use their money 24/7, if it's for to have retirement after 60 years, like, so why? So as Vic said, like, why? We should ask this question as well. Okay, another type of the company, healthcare. So we are doing drugs or we are doing devices that will be used by people, as Andrew said at the beginning, like a heart implant, anything like that. So we have a test manager. What would you expect from that person? Yeah, role regulations are there, yes. Competence, confidence. Be healthy, yeah. That's really cool. Domain expert, yes. Anything else? Yes, standards are there. Yes. Yeah, so there are a lot of requirements. So it depends where you want to sell your product, but the biggest one is FDA in States. Like, it's funny as it's Food and Drug Federation, I think, Association. Yeah, we are working in distributed teams a lot. I will tell you what more. Like those 4 people that raised their hands when you were saying about documentation, this is the part for you, actually. So we have a company in Wrocław. They are doing. They're working for Philips, and they're doing like devices to inhale drugs for people when they're sleeping. And actually, for each testing round, for half a year, they just prepare themselves for testing. For half a year, they are preparing. And you know how much time it takes for them to make testing? 2 months. So 6 months for 2 months, and they need 1 more month to document what they did. You wanted to add something? Responsibility. So actually, with healthcare, you have so much regulations, different ones. That responsibility would not lay on test manager. Actually, you will have those teams that will test after you, before you even try to go to the market. So this is great thing that in those regulations how we work with those devices, and that's why when I learned about it, when Natalia started to work on one of the ISOs, I thought in the future I will buy stuff only for companies that already have it, because there is a proof that they tested at least twice. And not all, sometimes we are just looking at the price. And there are a lot of things that we don't think of. So here we focus more on different type of tests that normally we would expect that they are there. So the heart implant or any implants, we would like to have them for lifetime, not to go to the hospital again and again and again. When I was on a Eurostar conference, there was a lady. She had she found out that she has a heart disease, so she had heart implant. But she's a software tester. So after the operation, so she started to dig deeper. What's the security of her implants? And deeper and deeper. So she found out that actually, if you buy a really small device, you can actually really easy take ownership of her implant and actually kill her. And it's one of the most popular implants on the market. Just no one thought about testing it in that way. And they were designed when not all of us have smartphones, and not all devices were easy to make, because it's so much time takes to get in the market with something. And then we have them for several years. So this is one of the interesting cases, what you do a little bit different in a healthcare. Okay, so we have another example, startups. Any one of you are working in startups? I know 1, 2, okay, 3 more, yes. So let's assume that in your startup you have test manager or test leads. What do you expect from that person? Build test process. Start, okay. And for those that are working in startups, from process and product quality, yeah. So you would not have anything to work with. You will need to figure it out and make everyone work like that. Anything else? You're open? Be open for changes. Be fast, yes, and test, yes, for sure. Okay, so I have 4th example, a software house. Do you know what does it mean? Okay, so let's assume we have a company and that has several projects inside that are doing for different clients. They are different, one is healthcare, one is banking, Another one is like some supporting a startup. We have only tester there, only like a BA for another project. So variety of things. So what do you think? Do we so what the test manager can do in companies like that? So when we have a huge project, we know, like we'll take responsibility for one project. Knowledge sharing, okay. Yeah, so this is the main thing that normally we are doing, selling our services to the clients. Yeah, anything else? Actually, this is most of the time. Okay. Yeah, to explain the goals, to figure it out some things, to ask why, to make checklists. Yes. Okay. So I said it will be 4 examples. Would you like to discuss one more? Like, do you have any idea, any example, different example? Like type of the company that it's unique in the type with the test manager. Okay, so let's go further. So when I was preparing for this presentation, I was watching a video recording with Paul Gerard about future of test manager. And this is the slide that I like the most. So he created 3 types of a project. So you see like structured, agile, and continuous. And something that I would like you to focus, it's like the second thing, it's like in structured projects, we have business decisions. In Agile, we have team decisions. Continuous, we have feedback. At the bottom, you can see that we have testing. So it's more script, more exploratory, or more automated. You agree with that? More or less? It does not mean that there are not other types. It's just like it's most of them like that. So something that was interesting is like leadership. So in structured project, we have more project managed. In Agile, we have more guided research. And for continuous projects, we have like line managed. So you see the role of management have to change depending on the type of the project, how we are working in them, not only by the type of the company and type of the project we are working in. Do you agree with that? Okay. So let's take a look on skills. So we already discussed what are the expectations out of test manager, right? But what do you think? What skills that person should have? Communication skills. Okay. What? Organizational skills, yeah. Time management. Structured way of thinking. All of us already have it, right? Okay, structured thinking. You know, I'm thinking if I have structured thinking, and I don't think so. Like, I always need to do 3 things at the same time. Like, I don't like one, so I do it like, yeah. Anything else? Multitasking, okay. What? Attentive patient, okay. Open-minded. Problem solving, okay. Anything else? Stress. I don't know how to say. Odporność na stres will be in Polish. Yeah. To was? Yeah. You have to. Yeah. I'm thinking of psychopathic right now. A bit. I like physics, so yeah, a bit. Yeah. A leader. Yes. Great. Okay. So look, you were saying about telling a lot of soft skills, but anything else? Technical skills. Good one. So I don't know what is here on the market, but when we have job descriptions for test managers and test leaders in Poland, it's everything there. It's like you should be perfect in testing, automation, performance, security. You should know like bunch of tools, programming languages, and at the same time be nice, polite, like stress resistant, leadership, and so on, right? You have the same? Yeah. Okay. So I made my list. So I thought that that person should have general knowledge about testing, right? To educate those clients, to educate the teams, to influence the juniors when we have them in our teams. I think that person should have experience in wide variety of testing efforts. When I'm saying wide experience, I don't cross off people that were working in one project and they're experts in that or one type of projects. It would be great if that person would have like experience working with different people, different clients, different projects. That would be for sure helpful. Planning, estimating, and management skills. Yes, especially planning one, right? But also the soft skills. So I made a list that was always like close to me. And yeah, you add a lot more. So I agree with that. Do you have any idea how to check those soft skills? Yeah. So we can try that person. But if you are looking for a new person, like for a project, how you would check if that reference check, right? Okay. You can ask friends, right? This is like one of the good things that I'm doing that conference in my town. You know how many people I know from testing? Or I know companies, what they do in those companies, what projects they do, if I really want to work with people that make that kind of projects. That's useful. This is a tip. Anything else? Like how would you check the test manager? Yeah. Failures. Okay. LinkedIn profile. Actually, I would say that when I'm checking like LinkedIn profiles of people from Ukraine, in most cases they're empty or there is almost nothing. So you should put more stuff there. No, like no soft skills. Yeah. So discuss for sure. You can make a workshop with those people to have that tryout. It's great to have this one day with that person to check how it will behave and so on. If it's matched to your project, to type of the project you're working on, to the cooperation that you have within the team and so on. Okay. So once again, do you really think that role is disappearing? Yay! Those first 4 people did not raise their hands. Like you still does. Okay. So I'll tell you what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that like why it will not disappear. So first of all, we'll still have those projects with waterfall and mess. Yeah. So we still have them. We are talking about methodologies for like at least last 10 years that I'm talking about it. So like it's there for the next years. We still will have projects with several testing teams, and even though we are saying in Agile that each team is independent and so on, sometimes we just have bigger projects, or we need like bigger cooperation. We need to connect our code in some one place, so we'll need to communicate. So not everyone has those skills that you were talking about. So you said so many good stuff about soft skills, but unfortunately, not every one of us have it, right? Not all of us wants to go to the client and teach about what is software testing. Not all of us wants to work with other people. And not all of us has this leadership in ourselves, or be stress resistant and so on, or multitasking. Not all of us. Yeah, sociopathical mind, like David said, yes. I think we'll work more and more in distributed teams, and it's like we see that it's growing. I think it will grow even more. So like if you're thinking about it, like when I started working, we were working across Europe. Then we started to take work from people from India, right, and start working with them. And now recently this week we were talking about the guys from Costa Rica and Chinese guys and so on. So we'll have more and more and more. Only the time difference will be the problem here still. And we'll have a lot, and we are having a lot of unexperienced people that we should take care of. To teach them how to test, to prove they are doing their job well. So this is one of the area we can take care of. Do you have any other arguments why this role may not disappear? Yeah. Thank you, you said it. Because I have it here. So I personally think that the role, that's why I'm saying that lead, manager, the role may disappear, actually, the name of the role. But the activities will not disappear. Someone has to do it. Right? So, you know, it's nice to have it in the contract. I never had it. So, like, you can do it without this. But we should think who will, like, manage those activities. Who will do it? Everyone in the team? Or there will be one person that will do it better, more? And so I would like you to ask that question to yourself, especially those guys that are manager leaders or those that would like to become ones. Like, are you ready to take all from that list that we were listing, or only part, and sell it to anyone else, okay? So we have 3 options now. We can do nothing and just wait for the future. Yeah, no mistakes. We can think about changing our career path, right? So become project managers. Anyone else is not software testing anymore? Do you have any ideas what you can do if you want to change? A lot of people are becoming Scrum Masters, right? If they like money, project managers. Business analysts, yes, they're there often. So you see they're changing depending on what they wanted to do. So for example, you may become business analyst if you'd like to work with people, if you like to communicate, if you like to do things like that. If you have this analytical mind, you can become a project manager. But there is like third thing. We can follow the market changes. So that role already changed. So now we have those agile teams. We have like that, what we say, everyone in a team could do everything. But still someone is doing the job of those activities. Someone is creating the strategy, someone is doing the reporting. Maybe sometimes we are doing it together, but not always, and not in every team. And I said that I will have second off top today, so I have something. So I prepared the list of challenges I got as a test manager. And I would like to think about ideas, what to do with it. Because, you know, I had my ideas, I did something, but maybe there is something better and maybe you can help me. So the biggest challenge for test managers, first of all, it's communication. So we communicate with clients, with team, with people, project managers, BAs, devs, everyone, all the time. A lot of meetings, a lot of talking. It's hard, right? So do you have any tips, any ideas how we can make it easier? Like it, yes. So I will tell you what I did. I had trainings from presentation skills. So yes, I'm still stressed when I'm standing here, but I have some tips what to dress, to have second shirt, like for in case I'm after lunch, you know, things like that. How to prepare presentation, to have on slides some text that you will not focus only on reading, but you will look at me as well. So that was my path. Can you think about anything else that can help with communication? Experience in selling. Yes, we have one friend, test manager, Tomasz. He was a sales guy. He can sell everything. He's helping with our presentation as well, like conference as well. Collaboration tools. Yes. Yes. Yeah, so as Mateusz said, like shared documents. So there are things that are obvious for us, that we are working together on some things. We have a friend and he's a lawyer. You know, it's 21st century and lawyers are waiting till 11 p.m. for the document to come to may start working on it. And we ask, like, why don't you use Google Docs or like things, like work together at the same time? And they did not even thought about it. We are using Slack, Skype. Oh, I'm thinking how many communicators I have on my phone. So know how to use them. Not only basic functions, but more. Anything else? Yeah. Yeah. You know, unify them, and he's writing to me only on Facebook. So this is the second one. Yeah, 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 unify. So Slack with the team and work and friends on Facebook and so on. But yes, it is to have, 4, not 10. Anything else? What? Analyze failures. Yes. I thought about one more thing, about language. So it's easy when we communicate with our language. It would be easier for me a lot to say this presentation in Polish. So I need to work on my English all the time. So I'm happy I'm here like second week in Ukraine, so I could speak in English as I do it only during the meetings. So language is one of the platforms, the tool that we need for communication. Anything else? I have one more. I just found out. To know the people you're working with, the communication that you are sender. So I need to see something. You have the same? I cannot do this like books that you need to listen because I cannot focus on them. I need to read them. I need to like reread them. So to find out like how to give that information to people in the right way so they see it. Okay, so second I have. So this is what we say in Poland when you're working in corporation. We said that you are korposzczur. Actually, this is a logo of one of the portals. So I was looking for something that will show so I had no time for testing. In some companies, when I was playing the role of test manager, they hired me because I was supposed to be an expert from testing, but at the same time, there was no time for testing itself. So, how would you handle this? Delegation, yeah. Express, re-export. My team was testing. It was only me that I wasn't. They hate making documentation as well, so I was doing it. I was in that place.
So everybody were happy, relaxed, and that's something.
Yeah, so everybody, yeah. But other than delegation and thinking because we would like to test, right? To not lose that knowledge, that thing that we have. So what would you do to test even though you don't have time for it? Overtime. What you said? Test at nights. What? Open source projects. This is a brilliant idea. Yeah. So even now, time to time, I'm helping and I'm testing some things for friends or just to help, or even the apps on the phone when I have new one, just to not lose it. And thinking about it, yeah.
In Ukraine we have testathons. This is like competition for testers.
Okay, testathons. How many of you knew about it? Competition for testers. We have testing cup in Poland. You see, no. So you should share that knowledge with everyone. I think that would be great input. So we have testing cup in Poland. It's once a year. You can in a team or independent tests a software for 3 hours. Any other ideas? How to find time for testing? Reduce them from something else and? Yeah, that will not work. I know, sometimes it works, yes. So this is a challenge when you become and this is something you should ask if it's required or not, because maybe you don't want to test anymore, but this is something you should think of. If you're taking responsibility, especially for more than one testing team, you will need time for things, even to talk with every team member once a month, and then have those meetings once a week. And this is one of the tricks for communication. So I had meetings with whole testing teams across all teams once a week, and we were discussing what to do next, and what is happening, just to know. And to share knowledge, and then in case someone was sick, I could, and that was my trick, when someone was sick, I was testing. And vacations, I was testing. So I could test, I really would doing it. Okay, so the next thing. Most of the time, it was firefighting. We have problems all the time. So what would you do? To not have it, not firefight all the time. Define the processes, yeah. Oh yeah, okay. Prevent. Time management. Yeah, switch from reactive approach to proactive approach. Yeah, priorities, like, that's great to, predict things. We can predict things. We know when we will have problems. Like, just think about those problems and start acting now before we will have it at the end. And one of the last things, like people management. So that was my biggest surprise. I was not prepared for this at all. Situations when you have a meeting and someone is crying on a meeting. And I'm serious. I had no idea how to behave. How to cooperate with people when they're just angry, or that they don't like each other, or they're yelling at each other. It happens. Like, we are human beings. So how you can, like, prevent this? Via psychologists, trainings. Yeah, trainings or team buildings. Yeah. Yeah, so we had it like, it would be great if all of us would finish, like all the leads would finish like some psychology studies.
To know how the human brain works at the physical level.
Yeah, it would be great to know. I think it's to have this before or like during you have this decision to agree with people that you're a human being as well. You're not perfect, and to have those trainings, know your strengths, learn how to behave. I had a great training that was actually the case study, and there were only leaders on this, and everyone was showing the hardest case study from their project. So once it was like crying girl on a meeting, and then another one like how to behave in situations like that. So we could learn from mistakes of others. And for sure, prepare yourself before you book first meeting. Prepare on the actions, what may happen. The most horrible two things you can have when you're a test lead or test manager. One is to fire someone, and second, when someone is leaving, someone that was like, the buzz factor that Mateusz said, like that, the project will be dead like after you kill that one person. So those are the two heaviest things you can do, the hardest when you're a test manager. So prepare this in advance. And actually the last one. So it was something that Piotr said, that we have, I was surprised how often I would need to educate people about what is software testing. Who is software tester? What are we supposed to do? I was really, really surprised. Even now I'm doing it time to time, that even when our clients, people that are working in IT, that are new in IT especially, even though they already know what is development, they use smartphones, they know what is app, they know what is web page, but in their mind it's still hard to understand what we are doing, that will bring the information and not provide the quality, even though I hired QA, like, it should be perfect, right? He should test 100%, or she, or we should have no defects on production. Educating. So how would you prepare for that? Today, you can all prepare for that. So, yeah? Trainings. I think you should all prepare a short presentation, even for yourself, even on paper. How would you sell your job? You're going to your grandma or grandpa, and they're asking, so what are you doing? And you're saying, like, yeah, I'm working in IT. Okay, so what does it mean? And you're like explaining, was like, that mobile app, yeah, web page, yeah. So I'm checking if it's okay. And they're paying you for that? So prepare the presentation and show it to your grandma or grandpa, like to prove them. So at the end, the goal is that your grandpa or grandma will understand what actually you're doing, why it's not only like one direction in software testing, why we are using different tools and why we are needed. So if you'd like to check some links about test managers, you're welcome. Thank you very much. Anyone have any questions? Yeah?
What do you think? If a test manager or test lead is the same with the tech lead?
Tech lead or test manager or test lead? It depends. Depends on a company. Sometimes it is. So I can believe, like, I think that I tried to show you that this role, it may change and it may vary. So you should make like decision if it's your tech or and go into direction and clearly communicate this. You can be like really tech person, but will you have at the same time the people skills needed for this role? Or like I'm more people oriented, a lot more, but I love processes. So I love going to the project and set processes, especially when there is a mess. So I found the places that I like really like a lot, and I found my spot. And when I was looking for other jobs, I was doing it to work on the things I want to do. I hope it helped. Thank you. Yeah. Why I choose it? Okay. I did not want to touch this thing. So when I was discussing like what to talk about on testing stage in Kiev, I showed what I can do. And we had a discussion, and the man that was like responsible for it, he said like, I take a look on your LinkedIn, and actually you could do something for test managers. And I thought like, let's start this discussion. And I would like the next QMO conference to have a discussion panel. I know in Ukrainian it will be easier. I know. Someone, maybe you'd like to become a speaker and make a discussion panel. I can help you. To discuss things, because this is one of the things I think we will grow by like preparing trainings, but also by sharing like experience of other people. Yeah. So I said the naming is not like it's changing. Yeah. Yeah.
What about the actual role? Why is it disappearing or maybe?
So it's disappearing based on the market needs. So we are starting working in smaller and smaller teams. We are doing, like, if you look at this, like 10 years ago we were doing bigger systems, and now like most of the things we are doing is something small, like, but that should bring value on the market as quick as possible. So look at how, like, even IT companies that we know, the old IT companies, it's like IBM, right? Help me. Cisco, yeah, old ones. Microsoft, big things. And when you're thinking about new companies, like they're doing like stuff that is on the market like right away. And it's a lot of them. So I think that's maybe a way why it may disappear. I don't think that test leading will disappear. I don't think that those activities will disappear. I think it depends on us and how we will change, and the projects will change. If it will be one person that will play this role or several people that will do it. Maybe we'll have great HR business partners that will take all that people stuff from us, right?
I will follow the previous question. My question is, if test manager role disappears in some kind of project, for example, Agile, who will take the responsibilities of the test manager?
Let's see. How many of you are working in Agile projects? Okay. Who's doing that stuff that we discussed? Test managers, and yeah, you're doing it, right? And you're still testing. Testers are doing it. Yeah. So actually, this is what happened. So we just pushed those things to testers. This is what happened in Agile teams. So what? Yeah, we divided responsibilities by different team members based on what they want to do or they agreed to do. So this is actually what happened in Agile, in the good Agile, like based on rules that everyone should be a team member and so on. But actually, like when I was saying, I showed you my responsibilities. That was really Agile project. It was just, we had 5 different Agile teams for one product. So they needed me to talk with the client all the time. Yeah. I'm sorry. That was made by Scrum Master. Yeah. So, and when I was working for this Agile, like it's a really Agile company, really Agile project, so I was needed to communicate with the client and to take care of responsibilities for people, and like that they would more or less work at the same, like on the rules, processes, and it was just because it was between banking and financial. Just because of that. If that would be a completely different project, it would not work like that. You had a question, yeah? Okay, top 3. Oh God, resolution. I have no idea. So yes, a girl that was crying in a meeting, one-to-one meeting, when I was giving the negative feedback. So I'm like trying to share information about this. Someone that wanted to leave because he was not happy with what he was doing as a software tester, and my management style is to tell everything aloud. So if we'll lose a contract, I will say about it to the team. I will share all that information. So we discuss it. We went through this, and we were discussing the options. So what we did, we switched a project for him, but we planned it. It took 4 months to change it. But we had a plan, like that he will help me to recruit a person on his place because he exactly knew what that person should do. He shared the knowledge, and in the meantime, he was starting like with the new project. And the third thing, I think for me, it was that lack of time for testing. And I laughed when you said like overtime, I think. Yeah, I was like just doing it for free. But it's not a good option. So I lost like testing, and after a while, like I like helped lead the project, and that's so I went to testing again. So time to time, I'm getting back as a tester, and then I'm like becoming a lead. Okay, so thank you very much, and I think it's time for coffee.